If you're sitting all day, then try these 3 stretches that you can find instant relief within just 60 seconds. Hi, my name is Dr. Ken, your sports chiropractor and certified athletic trainer located in Honolulu, Hawaii. And today we're going to be showing you 3 easy and yet very effective stretches for if you are sitting all day in front of the computer, or maybe you're a driver, or maybe you're a pilot. And so if you are sitting all day for work, then try out these 3 stretches because you are gonna find instant relief in just 60 seconds. Let's do it together. Now this next stretch is so important. Let me show you on the spine model and explain why. When we look at this spine model, you're gonna notice this pelvis and this lumbar region, which is part of your lower back. Now, as you can see, these sponges represent your disc, and you have a nice little curvature rounding back just like that. Now that is actually ideal. You don't want it to be excessive, but there needs to be a little bit of that. Now when we're sitting though, what tends to happen is our pelvis starts to tuck under and our spine rounds about just like that. And what you're gonna notice is this front part, the disc or the sponge that's representing the disc, is gonna be thinner because the disc pressure changes. Now, again, if we're back, you're gonna notice that the sponge kind of increase, but when we're tilting, you're gonna notice that the sponge tends to decrease. Now that's because of this excessive pressure on the disc when we tuck our pelvis and sit like this for an extended period of time. So remember on the spine model, when we flex our spine, it increases a lot of disc pressure. As you saw, the sponge thinning down. And so what we want to do is we want to do the opposite in our stretch. So this is going to be a simple Cobra stretch where we're going to go face down on a table or a flat surface. You could even use your bed or the floor. We're just going to hang out on our elbows right here and extend our lower back. This in itself is enough to get the relief that you're looking for. Now, again, because when we slouch and we flex our spine, when we stay there for, let's say 8 hours on an average work day, we're going to be flexing our spine the whole time. We need to be able to do the opposite direction just as much. And so that's why this exercise is going to give you the relief that you're looking for. Now, if you want to accentuate this stretch, what we're going to be doing is instead of our elbows, we're going to be going on our hands. Now, when we do this, we're going to keep our belt line of our hips still on the table. And if you can, lock out your elbows. If you can't, you can hold like a mini push-up. If you aren't able to hold this position that well, you can stuff pillows under your chest. That way you can just hang out here and you don't have to do anything. Now we want to hold this for at least 60 seconds, and you want to do this at least 4 to 5 times. Now when we do this, you can hang out or you can pump just like that, and this is called a prone press up. And this again is going to help reverse that spinal flexion that you might be doing as you're sitting all day slouching. Now when we do this again, you're gonna find the relief in our lower back, and when we sit again, it's gonna feel a lot better. If we want to do another form of exercise to accentuate this position, to maybe relieve some of that tension, especially within our SI joints, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bending both knees in the back just like this, and then we're going to be rocking side to side. Now when we do this, you may or may not feel a little pop in that SI joint as it starts to mobilize. Again, what we want to do is we want to just keep our knees bent and then just rock our ankles side to side on each part of our body. When we do this, you can rock this about 10 times for about 3 sets. And you're going to realize that you're gonna feel a lot of motion going on in that lower back and that SI joint. You may or may not feel a little pop, especially if you're on the stiffer side. And then go back into this position and hold for about 60 seconds for a total of 4 to 5 sets. And when you do that and you sit again just like this while you're working, you're gonna notice that your lower back is more free and not locked up, and your muscles are more engaged, and all we have to do is now work. Now this next stretch is going to be extremely important. When we look at this spine model, we're going to be focusing on this mid-thoracic region, which is your mid-back. Now, the primary function of this region is actually going to be rotation. So any rotating movement that's primarily coming from the mid-back region. So when we're reaching back, when we're reaching forward or bending forward and rotating, maybe even a golf swing, a lot of that rotation is coming from this mid-back region. So when we look at this mid-back region, we have to make sure that there are some sort of rotation within this neck stretch so that it can be effective and you can find the results that you're looking for. The next stretch is going to be in 2 parts, and this is going to be getting our mid-thoracic or our mid-back region. Now, what we're gonna need is a doorway. The first part that we're going to be doing is getting 2 hands on the doorway. You're gonna lock this elbow out and you're gonna shoot your butt back. You're gonna notice that your mid-back is gonna go into extension. And this already is a great stretch, not only for your mid-back, but even your shoulders and lats. And so when we do this, we're gonna hold this for about 30 seconds and just breathe in and out. And we're gonna do this up to 4 sets. Now, the second part that we're going to be doing is gonna be with the doorway again, except we're gonna bring our right hand on top, stick out, and then shoot this opposite hand that's not grabbing the doorway and shoot it into this gap that you have between the doorway and your arm. And you're gonna shoot it, and you're gonna notice that it's gonna rotate our mid-back. And remember, like we discussed on the spine model, our main function of our mid-back is rotation. So by getting this movement down, we're going to be repeating this for about 10 times. And if you are actually familiar, it's very similar to the thread the needle motion that we usually do on the floor, except we're gonna use the doorway instead. So again, right hand on top, shoot the gap, and reach as far as you can and rotate in and out. And you're gonna do this 10 times for about 2 to 3 sets, whatever is comfortable for you. This is how it's gonna look on the opposite side. So we're gonna get our left hand on the top of the doorway as far and comfortable as you can. And again, you're gonna use the opposite hand that's not on the doorway and shoot the gap and reach and come back. And you're gonna rotate. And you're gonna not only feel the stretch on this upper arm and shoulder lats over here because it's locked, but that mid-back rotation that's going to be releasing a lot of the tension in between the shoulder blades. So try it out. When we're sitting all day, we tend to jut our head forward because we tend to kind of gaze and focus on what's crucial in front of us. So when we're focusing forward and our head starts to jut forward, our neck tension, especially in this front region and our upper trap, starting to tighten and sometimes causes cramps or throbbing within these regions. Now, if we were to show you on a side view, what tends to happen is our neck starts to jut forward and our eyes starts to fix on the horizon, tilting our head up. And when that happens, there's a lot of neck tension in this back region, a lot of tension near our throat and the front part of our neck. And then obviously the upper trap, which is very common with people who are sitting in front of a computer or even drivers that tend to focus and jut our head forward. So let me show you on the model what's happening. What's currently happening in this position is our cervical spine or our neck is actually nicely stacked here. But what happens when our head starts to jut forward is this starts to move forward. And like I said earlier, our skull or our eyes have to fix on the horizon, causing this head tilt. Now that is going to cause a lot of tension in this back. And because of this head shooting forward, there's going to be a lot of tension also in the front and our upper trap, who has to hold this head that is going forward. When that happens over time, as you're working, the tension increases, and that's why this next exercise is going to give you that relief that you're looking for. So when we're sitting and our head starts to jut forward like this, try out this next stretch. What we're going to be doing is placing one hand either side, we're going to do both, For this example, it's going to be my left hand. We're going to be grabbing either the corner of the chair or the front part of our seat right there. And with that, we're going to be going and leaning our bodies away from this hand into the opposite back corner. So because this is my left hand, we're going to shoot for the back right corner. And when we do this, we want to also bring our head into that back right corner. So again, that's going to be the opposite of the hand that's on the seat. As we shoot back right into that corner, we're just going to stay here, and we're going to be stretching this part of our region of our neck, which is going to be from the base of the neck all the way into this front part of your upper trap. And when we do this, we're going to hold this for about 15 to 30 seconds for about 4 sets. Now, to bring this to the next level, we're going to be doing the same thing. So our left hand right here, going to the opposite back right corner. Now we're going to use our free hand, and we're going to either push our chin up into that corner or bring our hand over our head and reach over and pull just like that. And you're going to accentuate this stretch that's going from the base of your neck all the way down the front part of our upper trap, because that is a region where you're going to feel a lot of tension, especially if you're sitting and our head tends to jut forward. We're going to get the opposite hand, and I'll show you the opposite side. Again, we're going to grab the corner or the front part of our chair. And because this is our right side, we're going to the opposite back, now left corner, and we're just going to lean into that stretch. As we hold this, hold it for about 15 seconds to 30 seconds. And we're going to do about 4 sets again. When we do that, again, when we want to accentuate it, we're going to either use our free hand to push up our chin into that back opposite corner to the left this time, or bring our hand over our head and then pull up. And you're going to feel this nice deep stretch in the front part of our neck on the side and our front part of our upper trap. So try that out and feel the difference afterwards on that tension melting away. Now all we have to do is do these 3 exercises so that you can find the relief, especially if you're sitting all day. Now that we got to try these 3 stretches, I'm hoping that you find a lot of relief and a lot less tension, especially when you're sitting again. I hope you found this video valuable. Please like and subscribe, give us a follow, and comment any questions down below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Take care. Aloha.